The Resident Evil 3 remake is overhated. People like to bash on this remake and say that it's, underwhelming, especially when compared to the Resident Evil 2 remake, but in reality, RE3 remake is exactly what Resident Evil 3 was originally. It was more or less an expansion of Resident Evil 2, shorter game with new areas, new characters, new mechanics, new enemies, and we saw that all in the remake. We didn't get every single location that was in the original Resident Evil 3. It was not a one-to-one remake, but its style of telling that story within the environments and locations that we saw was actually really well done. Now, it was on the shorter side, yes, and that is one argument that I'll give credence to, is the fact that the game was priced at a full price game, and really it should have maybe been half the price, and I think that would have been a much more fair justification. And as a game, the gameplay itself is really silky smooth, and it really did feel like how the original Resident Evil 3 added a lot more features to make it more of an action game. Even going back and playing the Resident Evil 2 remake, I'd say the Resident Evil 3 remake handles a lot more smoothly and is a lot more fun to control. The redesigns for some of the enemies, like the Hunter Gamma, were incredibly frightening and much more ferocious than what we saw in OG Resident Evil 3. Nemesis in this game was not done as well as he could have been, definitely not to the level of Mr. X, but for the moments that he did show up, it did feel very chaotic, very tense, and you felt that trepidation, especially when you come with the rocket launcher or the flamethrower. You knew you were in trouble.